Hello, my name is Lance Smith. I came to Christ in 1993. My story is really unique. There were some circumstances in my life that brought me to Christ. And throughout those years, the Lord took his time in developing and molding me. And in 2020, at the onset of the pandemic, I was introduced to Stitch Ministries and also to the Faith and Finance class. And because we were in lockdown mode, I had nothing to do. So I said, well, let me go ahead and, see what this class is all about. So I enrolled in the class, and come to find out the class was very informative. And one thing that I realized was, or not realized, but one thing that I wished was something like this would have been offered for people like myself earlier in my formative years, maybe let's say in my teen years or right when I joined the military at the age of 19, 20 years of age. Because at that time, as long as I had money, or as long as I had in a banking account, I thought I had money in there, not realizing that I had to continuously keep money in my account. But one thing that Faith and Finance has taught me was it opened up the lines of communication between my wife and I with regard to how we handle our money. We weren't really in a financial crunch or anything like that, but it taught us some biblical principles that we were able to apply to our financial portfolio that allowed us to be in a better position financially. I definitely loved the class, definitely loved the instructors and the instruction, but based on the fact that it's biblical based and biblically based, and it's free. For somebody that's on the fence about joining Faith and Finance or becoming a facilitator, I would honestly say you don't know unless you know or unless you engage. We think we have it all together. And again, for me, I was financially comfortable. However, by engaging in and participating in the course, I found out there were some things that was not aware of that I was able to input into my own financial planning, so to speak, because we in Faith and Finance, we do not use the word budget. We use the word spending plan. And by virtue of using that word spending plan, it allowed me to take better control of my money, to see exactly where it was going. And also, one of the other big things that it taught me was discipline. That was one of the biggest things that I learned from Faith and Finance. And just by virtue of the community that developed by virtue of going to the course, we were able to bounce some ideas off of one another. And one of the biggest things, I'm an Amazon shopper, and one of the biggest things that I enjoyed was someone told me that they would put things in their basket and they would leave it there for a couple of days. Well, I found out that if I did that, I'd wait about 2 weeks, and I realized that was something I didn't need, so I was able to take it out of my basket and essentially save money. So one of the things about Faith and Finance, it teaches you how to keep your money. I would honestly say Faith and Works has the ability to change your attitude about how you approach your job. One of the things that I would honestly foot stomp is, one, when we're in employment, we have to recognize that it's the Lord that gave us a job in the first place. And we have to understand that we work for Him and we represent Him. We are ambassadors for Christ. And in doing so, by virtue of allowing that light to shine in us, we have a tendency to draw more people to Christ. And one of the biggest things that I learned was in the communication model. I always thought that I was a good communicator. But one thing that we have a tendency to do is those first impressions that we have of people, depending on how they approach us or their nonverbal behaviors, things that they may say or do. A lot of times we may not realize or understand or know the story that caused them to exhibit that type of behavior or those nonverbals. And sometimes we have to be a little bit more sensitive to that, and just be a little bit more, not only sensitive, but a little bit more patient in listening to those individuals, find out what's really going on, how can we help them? Because our job, again, is not only to serve the Lord where we work, but also to serve His people where we work.